Joining us today on Thoughtful Thursday, Joe from Chesterfield wants to know what's been the biggest key to the recent success your team has been having.
The biggest key is actually quite simple. We had a meeting the Tuesday before our George Mason game. It was after our 2-game loss on the road to Hofstra Northeastern. And I read a book on Monday night. It was called Soup. And it really motivated me and reminded me of the importance of teamwork. And I think when things aren't going your way or you're losing, people tend to want to do everything themselves. And so we had a long meeting as far as what teamwork meant and bring it together and be encouraging and positive. And I really feel like that was kind of the key that ended up taking us. It was all about attitude.
Rachel in Washington, D.C. wants to know, with 2 young children at home, is it difficult to juggle family time with the crazy schedule that you and Tim have to keep? And on that note, how do you bring your girls into the VCU family that you guys have?
I love having 2 young children that get to see what their parents do. I love that our daughters get to see that I'm a working mom and I could do both. Having them on the road or around the team, we incorporate them. On Saturdays it's pretty loose at practice, so they'll come out to training and my daughters get to watch how soccer's played, and actually at breaks, Layla, my oldest, will get up and dribble into the goal. The girls are just great role models. On the road, sometimes they come with us on the bus. We'll have a nanny or in-laws with us to take care of them, so we could do both. It is challenging. It's not easy, but my role models were teammates of mine on the national team, and they always brought their kids, and I saw that it could be done. You could be a professional and have your children and be able to do both, and so I feel like it's a great atmosphere for our team as far as family environment, and it's great for our children.
Richard from Richmond asks, I've read a lot about you traveling overseas. Can you talk about how you got involved with the ambassador program, and what does it mean for you to be part of a program like that?
Sure. The ambassador program for our U.S. Department of State is an incredible opportunity to go overseas and use sports as a tool to teach kids. It's sports diplomacy. It brings countries together, and soccer is my passion, and teaching young kids about life lessons through soccer is awesome. So the way that I was involved or was asked to do it was just with my national team background, and also just the passion that I have to help young children. So it's just a great opportunity to go overseas and bring young kids together. And also my goal when I go over there is also to be a role model for young kids, because when I was younger, I looked up to Jackie Joyner-Kersee or Mary Lou Retton, and that kind of was my spark to realize that I wanted to be an athlete or have goals. And so hopefully I could be that for some young kids when I go overseas.
Jess from Virginia Beach asks, you guys struggled to score early on this year, but things have turned around recently. How are you and the team able to stage off any frustration and turn things around?
I think that's the hardest thing, is to not get frustrated, even when you're not scoring or you're not playing well, or when you're playing well and not scoring, which I think has been our case. But it's a reminder. I think the leaders have to be the reminders to the players that we have to be persistent and believe in what we're doing. And I do have to say, tactically, we've been working a lot more on our forwards movements to become more dynamic. And with that focus, I think it's made our players feel more prepared and confident, and I think that's helped.
Lauren from Richmond wants to know, Kristen Carden was an all-ACC goalie before coming to VCU. How much of a role has she played in the recent defensive success?
Kristen Carden's played a huge role in our defensive success. She's a gamer. She's competitive. She's such a huge presence in the back. So she gives a lot of confidence to her defenders in front of her. The way she speaks, the way she calls for the ball, her footwork is so good. So we feel very comfortable playing the ball back to her at her feet, and she's able to distribute for us. So she's a key player for us in the defense, as people can see.
Pam from Arlington says, I've seen several stories about Lauren Hutchinson playing for Trinidad and Tobago national team, but she's gone on to miss some games. Was there even a discussion about not letting her go, or was it an easy decision?
For us, if I wanted to be selfish, I'd say I want you to stay, because she's a key player for our team as well. But since I played for the national team, I understand that that's a huge honor, And so we let our players play for their national teams. And something that I tell every player before they come and play for us is that we will always help you with your national team endeavors. So couldn't go back on my word and keep her home here when we've helped her, when we told her that we would support her in her national team endeavors. So we just wish her all the best, and then we can't wait for her to come back too.
Dave from Williamsburg asks, what player or players do you think has really been the key to your team this year, but maybe hasn't gotten a lot of attention? Say an unsung hero type.
Unsung heroes. I think Gabby Wilson. You know, she doesn't get a lot of attention. And Heather Hovanesian, I would say. I think Heather might get a little bit more attention, but Gabby, you know, she's her junior year, freshman, sophomore year. She was not a starter for us. She did not start the first few games for us this season. And she has just been so selfless. And I can tell through her actions that she wants to be successful for her team. And with that attitude, she has been such an amazing teammate and player for this team this year. The way she works defensively, she's little, but she's so feisty and she gets it done. And then she's so committed to playing 1 to 3 touches in the midfield to keep the ball moving. She's really committed to the style of play that we want to do, and we really appreciate that.
Mike from Maryland asks, what appealed to you and Tim so much about VCU? And on that note, how do you like living in Richmond?
A lot appealed to us when we came here to VCU before we got the job. First of all, just the athletic department. You know, with Norwood's leadership and his vision as far as where he wants the athletic department to go, it was very inspiring and fresh. Just something that Tim and I really felt like that we wanted to be a part of. Everyone was so supportive and friendly, warm. And then the facilities, we felt like this was a place where we can be successful. And it was already a successful program. So we felt very appreciative that we would have the opportunity to take over a successful program. Tough shoes to fill, but we wanted the challenge, and we love Richmond. We live in the Fan, and it's very fun and hip. There's lots of things to do. It's great for our children right now, and we're close to work, so lots of good things.
Dave from Florida asks, Kristen Granados has been the story over the past couple weeks. Can you talk about how you ended up with both Kristen and Carol Sanchez and what they brought to the team?
Yeah, the way that Tim and I do a lot of international recruiting, and we've had the men's side has had some former Costa Rican players, and so we were in touch with a former men's player, and he told us about a showcase that they were going to put together in Costa Rica for the women's side. So Tim and I took advantage of it, and we decided to go over there. We had watched some national team games of Costa Rica, and so we did spot some players from their national team, and we heard that they were going to be at the showcase. So then we went to the showcase, and we spotted a handful of players, and that's how we got them.
Shannon from Richmond wants to know, obviously you had quite a playing career. Is there 1 or 2 moments from your college or national team career that you think about a lot? And along that line, who was the toughest player you ever played against?
Oh, geez. That is a loaded question. The toughest player I ever played against, I would say, would be Hager Reese, because she was I think she was FIFA Player of the Year at least one time. And one of my rules was to mark her out of the game in the Olympics, in the 96 Olympics. And so knowing that your role is like definitely to make sure the best player in the world doesn't touch the ball was a huge job. So I said that would be one of my toughest games. Honestly, I don't have like one thing that comes to mind, but the first thing that came to mind was that everything that I learned was really not about all the winning and the championships. I mean, I think that's what people would think you would think about. But I think about my teammates. I think about the relationships. I think about the leadership that I had on the national team and how much that molded me as a player and now to be a coach. So just those relationships, and I feel like so lucky to have been a young player on the national team with the leadership that was there, because it's helped me so much as a coach.
Okay, next we're going to move on to some rapid fire questions. So just say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
What's your favorite restaurant in Richmond?
Comfort.
What's your TV show that is your most guilty pleasure?
Oh, The Bachelor.
Things that you miss the most about the West Coast.
Friends, family,
Your favorite sport to watch other than soccer.
basketball.
3 living people that you would invite to dinner. Anybody.
Oh, geez. Marilyn Monroe. I don't know.
iPhone or BlackBerry.
Oh, iPhone for sure.
Dog or cat.
Dog.
Chocolate or vanilla.
Chocolate.
Soup or salad.
Soup.
Bigger thrill. World Cup win or Olympic gold medal.
Come on. Both. I don't know. Gold medal. Yeah, gold medal.
Okay, that's all the time we have today, but thank you so much for joining us for Thoughtful Thursday, and everybody at home, tune in next week.
Thank you.